Hey, what's up everybody? Today on NTE, I am sharing with you guys my DPS Burst Adler. He is not the main driver, he is just a burst DPSer that also provides good shields for the main driver. A lot of people build him as a pure tank, pure shielder. I went another route because, well, if you just play better, dodge better, then you don't really need the big shields, but you still want a little bit of the shields, and he is a great support to add to the team. So yeah, I wanted to do burst damage. Not everybody will be able to build this. Spoiler alert, you're gonna need the battle pass because the arc from the level 30 battle pass accomplishment, whatever, the chest that you get, you need the arc from that. But I will give you an alternative arc, and still this will kind of work pretty well. But of course, that arc just makes it a lot better. Here we go. Okay, so the team formation, just to give you an idea on what team setup works. This team setup is what I use on the train. It focuses around having many burst DPSers. Or actually, Hathor is the main DPSer for burst damage. Nonly is the main driver. And Adler is supposed to be the support, but now he acts as a support burst DPSer similar to Hathor. Is it as strong as Hathor? No, but it's maybe about 70% as strong as Hathor, which is pretty good. And then, of course, this guy is just there to Esper cycle. You can have a team that looks a little bit like this. This is more of a Scorch debuff Hex team, which still works. This one is more of a Hex team. This is just more DPS. And if you want to run this, then I'll show you what you're normally going to do. You do Nanali as the main driver. Get Hex from Adler. Once there's Hex available, you want to ultimate with Adler and then use his skill and then swap back to Nanali, and then you're going to deal a lot of damage that way. You could also do something different, which is you swap to MC. You could pop Hathor for this one, the Remora. If you have Remora enchantment on Hathor, it will give your team an additional 10% crit rate, which works really well for my Burst Adler. I don't know why I haven't gotten it yet. I will be getting it now because I run this team as my sub team on the train, making his burst be more consistent and even stronger. Right? So here we go. The reason why you need crit rate for Burst Adler is this. It's build time, boys. First, we gotta understand how this character works. So let's talk about how he scales. So he scales with defense for the skill damages. But you can also scale him a different way, which is scaling him with crit damage and incantation damage. That scales his skills as well besides this. Right? So here we go. Let's talk about what the skills do as well. Evil's Bane, basically it's a burst. It doesn't sound like a burst DPS skill, but it works as a burst DPS skill if you make this build, right? Normally, it's just a skill that you press to get your shield and bang, swap to another character. It consumes all stacks of karma. Karma is this thing right here. Right there. In the middle, on top of his HP bar, there's like a antler deer thing, his spirit thing. That gets filled up, it turns fully red. Once it turns fully red, you pop Evil's Bane. And then Evil's Bane, his skill, will deal 40% more damage, right? So, important note there. His ultimate will deal 5 instances of incantation damage to each enemy on the field. So if there's 10 enemies, it will do 60 instances of damage, 5 for each. If there's 5 or 4, normally like in the Ghost Train, it will deal 20 to 25 instances of incantation damage. That is important because that will lead us to how our build will work. Okay, now let's talk about his arc. This is where I told you it's not going to be for everybody because it requires Fluff of Ferocity. Fluff of Ferocity can only be claimed from the Battle Pass level 30 battle chest thingy. And yeah, you have an option to get this. I decided to get this because I wanted to make a cool support character, not support, right? So I got it for Fadia and this guy, but it mostly works for this guy. All right, so the way it works is it's pretty simple. It increases the wearer's crit damage by 4% for 10 seconds after landing a critical hit, up to 10 stacks. It resets the duration when triggered again. So you can have this up almost all the time if you want, right? So it also gives you attack and attack percentage, which helps with your basic attack damage, your counter damage, and whatever, your parry damage. All right, so Fluff of Ferocity is going to be our arc. The console is going to be Crimson Twin Butterflies. A lot of people use Hedgehog on him because they play him as a support. I'm playing him as a burst DPS. Alright, so I was able to get incantation damage bonus on the main attribute, which is what you want. Or you want crit rate, which can also work really well. It's actually better if it's crit rate, but incantation damage is good too. The substats, the ideal one is crit damage, crit rate, damage, and defense. That would be ideal. But I was only able to get defense, HP, break intensity, which isn't too bad, and damage. Right? So this is okay. It's not bad. This is the really good part about it and why I decided to fully invest in this cartridge. It gives you plus 10 incantation damage if you have the 2 modules correct. 4 correct modules, you get increased attack by 6% when a nearby enemy takes incantation damage from the team, up to 6 stacks. This is easily achieved with his ultimate, and you'll have this fully up already. Alright? It's really easy to get up. Alright? A little bonus tip. Defense, since it's a scaling thing for his skill, if you have type 3 modules, which is the 3 blocky things, he gains 12% defense. So I have 4 of them. So I have 48% additional defense on top of whatever. Now, again, the ideal substats for the module in this scenario would be defense, crit rate, crit damage, and damage. That would be ideal. If you're able to get that kind of module, then that's like the god roll. But if you don't have those, you want crit rate at least. It's there. So, and defense. Defense and crit rate, definitely good. So as you can see, each one of these has crit rate because of our arc. We don't get much crit rate from other things outside of our module and our cartridge, but like I said, unfortunately I did not get crit rate on the substat. Okay, so yeah, you want to build it with a lot of crit damage, and damage, incantation damage as well. That's how you'll scale his DPS without too much defense. Now let's talk about his awakening. Since he is an A tier character, it's really easy to get copies of him. This one just gives you more shield blessing, bigger shield, which is good. This is the best one. Each stack of karma grants Adler 3% damage bonus. So the way this works is, if you have the 20 stacks, it will give you 20 times 3%. So it gives you 60% damage bonus on top of everything. This what makes him a little bit more bursty, right? Then this one is the second best, or probably the better one. Actually, I think it's the most important one. It grants Adler 20 stacks of karma when casting Tranquility. So you gain the instant 20 before the damage comes out. So this is already amplified. You amplify this because of this. With just one button, you get full stacks, and then you benefit from this already. Formation absorbs a portion. This is if your shield breaks, he'll only take half the damage of whatever is left after the break. So let's say you have 1,000 shield, the enemy did 2,000 damage, you'll only receive 500 damage. Right? Discernment grants Adler 20 ultimate energy when casting Tranquility. This is also a really nice bonus because he just gets his ult back faster. That's why a lot of people like Hedgehog on him because of because of the charge, right? Charge efficiency, which is a great stat on him as well. But for damage, Crimson Twin Butterflies. Now this one, all forms are void, extends the duration of the blessing. This is not really a nice one. It's just, your shield lasts longer until it breaks. So again, 5 and 4 are a must-have. If you only have like 2 copies of Adler, just run 5 and 4. You'll be good. Then get 6. 4, 5, 6 is the meta. Like get those, that's the best. His resonance effect is simple. You gain more skill damage. Skill level on your skills, just 1. And if you have 6, it increases the team's incantation damage by 10% while protected by blessing. So your shield. Right? So that's a little bit of bonus. If you have a main incantation DPSer, which I don't think exists yet, they'll benefit from this. Okay, so that's his awakening. Now let me remind you on how everything works, right? Remember his ultimate, you will gain full stacks of karma. You'll be getting the 60% bonus damage from that. And then after you pop your ult, you're gonna press the skill button and consume the karma, but still gaining or benefiting from that 60% while you had it. It will make this skill deal an additional 40% damage for another 1 instance of big burst damage after doing the ult. So that's mostly what you're going to be doing. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope it helped you out. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different. I'm pretty sure nobody has done this yet. If you like this video, leave a like, comment below, let me know what you think. Hit that sub, and I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.